family, land has always been power. For the blacks, it's been blood, sweat, and tears. For so many, stolen dreams. Even in 2025, many farmers are still trying to ward off racism that wants to push them off their land, where we're talking about reparations. And today we are talking about a black farmer who is not just surviving, but in his funny video, he is advising farmers, black farmers, how to ward off these white supremacists and take care and charge of their land. Let's watch the video.
I'm a black farmer and people ask me all the time, how do I stop white supremacists from coming on my property and bothering me? Well, let me give you a step-by-step guide on how I keep myself safe. When the white supremacists show up, I have to use the right tools to repair their aggression, so I use power tools, preferably 9mm socket or better. And then you want to get one of your pigs that just got finished having piglets, just got finished farrowing, because she's going to be extra hungry. And extra hungry pigs, believe it or not, a lot of hog farmers may or may not tell you, they will eat people. And maybe you give your pig some extra pig feed on an elevated slat just like this, so you can spray it down with some water pretty much easily, and you can collect all the bones and the teeth because pigs can't digest that. In fact, there was a woman right here in Oregon who pulled this off named Susan Monica, and my only critique of Susan's work is that she should have used highly concentrated sulfuric acid to make sure you dissolve the bones in the teeth too. And thus we have demonstrated why there are some Negroes and some combat veterans you leave the hell alone.
Let's talk about one of the oldest and quietest tools of the white supremacists, land thefts. Even today in the US, as property laws and shady developers are snapping land out of black farmers. Now let's go back. After Reconstruction, black farmers had to build 14 to 15 million acres of land. That spelled independence, power. But by the end of the 20th century, 90% of that land was gone. How? Lynching and terror drove families off. Local courts voided deeds. The very agency meant to protect the blacks discriminated against them. And that's why we have the Pickford lawsuit in the 1990s and the 2000s. Thousands of black farmers had to sue the US government to get even partial justice for decades of discrimination. So when this black farmer is saying, protect yourself, he knows what to say. He has 150 years of receipts. So I find this video kind of funny because he said when the white supremacists come, you ward them off with power tools. He also said if you have pigs who just finished having piglets and finished farrowing, that you unleash them. Now, one thing with pigs they don't tell you is that it eats humans. And he talked about Susan Monica, a former American sailor who was convicted of murdering 2 men at her residence in Oregon. She dismembered the victims and fed their remains to pigs. So I find this kind of funny actually, but do not do anything that will land you in jail. Be careful out there. But this isn't just about land. It's about power. It's about influence. The more land the black owns, the more dominant they become. And they know this. That's why they keep collecting lands, seizing lands, without keeping it back. This situation is peculiar in South Africa. So many people are crying that the government gives them their land, collects their land from this white supremacist and hand it over to them. We have the stories of people who are still fighting for justice till today, from where they were little to today. Let's watch this video.
It was when Valeda Mahobe was forcibly removed from her home in Sophiatown. She was 22 at the time. At 88, she remembers what happened.
It reminds me of a very sad day, As I say, we were just moved without having told where we are going to, and then we were dumped at this place.
In 1959, her family were taken against their will to Diepkloof, a township created specifically for black people by the whites-only racist apartheid government. 8 people forced from a spacious 5-room home into a 3-room house.
Was nothing. No shops, no schools, no churches, nothing.
Unfortunately, Mahobe's experience is not unique. Families were forcibly subjected to mass relocation under the Group Areas Acts from the 1950s to the 1980s. Before that, hundreds of thousands were impacted by the 1913 Natives Land Act that kept black land ownership between 7 and 13% across South Africa.
So when this farmer talks about protecting your property, it's actually understandable. Protecting your property is protecting your future. That is what you hand over to your children. They get to know their legacy. They get to know their culture. Because these guys will just come and what they want to do is take it from you. And the funny thing is, even with the receipt, this is the receipt to this land we have. Our forefathers owned this land. Guess what? They are still fighting for justice till today. And these guys still dominate their lands. They actually feel it's theirs. Wow. So when this man says protect your land from this white supremacist, please do have all the documents you need to have and protect yourself. What do you have to say about this story? Comment your thoughts and do not forget to share, like, subscribe and turn on your notification button. My name is Lynient Akotonou.